Here.
Sparks.
Hello.
Here.
Here.
Wilson.
Here. Wonderful. So, looks like we have some minutes from May 9th that I think we all saw digitally, possibly. I'd entertain a motion to approve those if anybody would like to bring one to the floor.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes from the May 9 meeting.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay. Is there any discussion or corrections or anything from these excellently written minutes? Now, I do catch a French spelling in the unscheduled business of June spelled like you would see in almost in French. Unscheduled business, second page, just before it says meeting adjourned by Trina. If you don't want a typo,
June.
the date June.
The word June.
June is
June is
just
spelled
spelled.
wrong.
The typo.
It just looks like it should be in French. That's all.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, but they're accurate, and so shall we take a vote to approve those? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstaining?
Well, I guess I have to because I wasn't here, but.
Yeah, okay,
that's-
yep, and then any opposed? Okay. Okay, so it looks like those minutes would pass. And public comments not related to the agenda. Rosemary, there's always an opportunity if you wanna share anything about anything.
I'm fine.
You're fine, okay. Thank you for being here. So we're on to communications and general business.
No communications to report.
So general business, are we gonna start with rules and regs of pickleball and tennis? Let's see, we have this on the second page today for us to review. Do you wanna give us some context for that maybe while we?
Sure, certainly. Tennis court rules actually are not going to be something up for a vote or discussion, but in that capacity. But I'd be happy to give you the background on it. So we put in the tennis courts and the brand new pickleball courts, as you're all aware. And prior to the tennis courts being finished, I hadn't realized that there was already a policy in place for rules for the tennis courts, and the park board approved it, and it went to the city commission. So those rules have been posted as of yet today. What I'm bringing forward to you now is the pickleball rules. So that's your second sheet inside of your packet that you have to review. These rules were put together by the pickleball court, pickleball forum group, led by Kate Arrow and Gary Garner. Met with them, and they met with their group as a collective, and they're pretty much the same rules that you see at the tennis courts. The alternation that you see is basically the finish your game and wait for the next court 4-on, 4-off when the courts are full. The tennis courts, they have 1 hour time frame that they request that players abide by if there's other people waiting. In the pickleball world, 4-on, 4-off is kind of like a unspoken rule. So it's just kind of similar to the 1 hour maximum for the tennis court player. So these are the rules that they were in favor of, and Mark and I met with them, and he was okay with it. So this is before you to have discussion, and if you are fine with it, then what I would request is that you make a motion to have this become an established policy, of which it then would go to the city commission. And once they approve it, then I can post those rules at the pickleball courts.
Coming into it, did you see any problems from either a city standpoint or a difference between the tennis and the pickleball that you wanted to, mention, or were you like Mark in favor of them as they're written?
It's pretty much the same as what you see for the tennis. Other than the non-marking shoes on the courts. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
in the pickleball world, maybe a certain kind of shoe or something, I don't know.
That was my question. I had that one and then the 4-on, 4-off. If I'm gonna go down and enjoy the try to do pickleball, I don't know what either one of those mean. So I didn't know if there's such a thing as maybe just a little explanation on the rules.
Sure.
The non-marking shoes, I don't know if it needs, I mean, I don't even know what those are, but the 4-on, 4-off, I had no clue.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure that if I'm down there playing and it's full, somebody's gonna tell me that knows pickleball, but I just didn't know if it would.
Yeah, so we had that same discussion with them. And the shoes, it was just kind of like, the way I captured that is that they just wanted to make sure that the surface wasn't getting damaged. So if somebody's running around on the court, I presume that if they start making marks, they can call that person out and say, hey, do you mind wearing a different set of tennis shoes?
Okay.
I guess that's what it is. When it gets to the 4-on, 4-off, we're working with that group. We'll have, and we're doing this with the tennis people as well. They have certain times that they all meet to have their recreational play, is what they call it. And so we're gonna post basically on the fence next to the rule signs a clear, I guess, for lack of a better term, a clear holder. Similar to like when you go to the pavilions and somebody's reserved the pavilions, you'll see a laminated piece of paper that notes that somebody's having an event at that pavilion because they rented it. We didn't really necessarily think it was important to have reservations of the pickleball courts because they're all the same users and they already all know when they're gonna come. So they're gonna post when their pickleball rec time is scheduled, and they're hopeful that those that don't know pickleball and don't know things like 4-on, 4-off gives community members that are learning an opportunity to learn about the whole 4-on, 4-off and the culture of rec play versus like senior play and things of that nature. So we'll be working with them to have that stuff posted. When it comes to what you're talking about, like you're just learning how to play, you don't know anything about it, and so what they said is if somebody's utilizing the facility during the time that they have their rec play, they will champion educating people and letting them know like they're gonna kind of switch in some of their players if they want to, not like forcefully telling them you have to play with that group or anything like that, but they'll work with them so that they can get up to speed and learn the sport.
Does that mean that if I'm there during the rec play, I might get kicked off because they've got too many rec players?
No.
Okay, I'm just,
I asked that question, and the answer to that was no. They just want people to be aware that are pickleball enthusiasts, that there's an opportunity to meet other ones if they're not already a part of the group.
There haven't been any issues? Is this more proactive
Yeah, it's
rather
more
than reactive?
proactive.
Okay.
Really, the only issues that we have right now, quite frankly, is the gates are getting damaged because right there at the middle school property, so the kids are hanging on the gates and
Yeah.
working on fixes of that. But other than that, that's really the only issues that we have right now.
Anybody else see anything else? Any questions about the rules? I think that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no mention at all of our city's policy regarding alcohol,
That's
marijuana.
That's an ordinance. It's an ordinance.
Okay.
And the ordinance sign is posted at the band shell, and it's also posted when you come into the entrance of Hemlock Park.
Oh, okay.
Would there be any reason to have one like at the beginning of where the basketball or pickleball? I don't really know if there's a need for it, but at those other possible entry points, knowing that people might come in to play basketball or pickleball. Like I'm meeting a lot of people from the community that are using your basketball courts, and I'm guessing that the two entry points are, off of the main street or off of the middle school parking lot. So
For an everyday user that's not educated as to what the parkland is and what the school land is, one would presume looking at that layout that that's school property.
yeah. But it doesn't prevent you guys from putting a sign along the fencing of Michigan or something there, and if you wanted to.
I'd
But-
have to defer to the public safety chief.
Yeah.
If that was something necessary that needs to be posted.
I think the one thing I was thinking that I think the rules generally are fine, but if there's something that could be posted, it's a great opportunity for one of two things, a QR code or a web link. If you wanna know more, or if you wanna contact, whether it goes to some Big Rapids city website, that recreation or something more specific about pickleball, it's a great opportunity. Again, I wouldn't necessarily say that it would be necessary to approve them, but I think that just as a suggestion, might be nice to have some digital way somebody can just kind of get more information or find out the league times if there is such a thing, so.
Yeah, we did talk about that, and because they are a recreational group, and this is a permanent sign that's going up, we're gonna work with them to have it get put where they post their rec play times, because their schedule's gonna change, the seasons and being outdoors, and so they wanna do just that, have a QR code and get people educated about what it is that they're doing. Because in the wintertime, they switch and they go to fairs.
Did you have another question on this?
Yeah, can you mention a little bit of last month's free swimming?
I will.
How did that go?
Yeah.
What kind of numbers do we have?
Can we get through
We
the
said,
general business and then I'll add on the pool afterwards, if that's okay? Can we talk about the pool after we get through the general business, and then I'll be happy to fill you in on that?
Can Heather, I just wanna make sure that we understand, you're gonna talk to the public safety people about posting signs about, you said you could talk to the public safety about putting signs by the Michigan Avenue and.
I'll ask her if it's necessary.
So you're gonna take that on, please? Okay, thank you.
shall we entertain a motion?
I'll second.
Okay. You guys set? We've got a motion and a second.
I'll second.
Margaret and Sandy. Any other discussion before we take a vote? I like silence. Okay. All those in favor of approving these Hemlock Park pickleball court rules, I guess we could say aye.
Aye.
Anybody want to abstain or oppose? Okay, so we can say unanimously approved. Thanks for bringing that to us. It's nice to be included in the things that are going on, that come out of the big changes that happen. Yeah. A dog day. This is not Brutus Bulldog Day. I'm guessing this is just a dog day.
I was wondering about that myself.
You got us on the fence here. My dog's in the truck.
Yeah.
Can I bring him
So
in?
maybe this could be a segue into a discussion with the pool at the same time, so it's not an added item. So, a lot of communities, what they do when their community pool closes, before they empty it out, is they have a dog day. A dog dunk, there's all kinds of clever names. And so we're gonna try it this year. So what I wanted to do before we put anything out there for the community to be aware of it was let you folks know about it first. And talking with Josh, what we're gonna do is the pool closes on a Friday, and we'll continue the extra day on Saturday, following that Friday that the pool closes for people to swim in it. And then during the posted times that we have Saturday swimming already scheduled, rather than confusing anybody, we'll have the pool opened on that Saturday, and people can bring their dogs and let them swim in the pool. We bought a raft that people actually use for their boats when they take their dogs out swimming in the lake and what have you. And so those that are in the deep end can have the ability to exit immediately. But from what I've seen on TikTok videos and what have you, a lot of communities just, the dogs naturally figure out where to go in when they come out and that kind of stuff. So it'll be a fun kind of new thing, and it might be a hit, and there might be a lame, and only a couple people come. But since the water's in there, we just figured we're gonna try it, and we are not gonna let people swim in the pool at the same time that the dogs are in there. There are some communities that do that, but we just don't really feel like that's the safe route to go with the first trial. So that's the dog day.
So you're gonna let people swim from 1 to 5 and then have the dogs in? Or is that whole day on Saturday gonna be dog day?
Whole day.
The whole day? So there will be no swimming on Saturday except for dogs?
Correct.
Okay.
That's in August sometime, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, the dog days of summer,
There
could
you
have
go.
a dog day at the pool. I mean, that would be a great news story in the newspaper, wouldn't it?
There you go. Steve's on it.
I'm on it.
Yeah. He's fully aware of it. He's gonna be working with Josh.
Cool. I mean, as a park board, other than just saying, you know, I mean, I don't know, do we have a strong opinion? I don't know.
I think it's great. Yeah. I think that's fun.
Stuff.
Echo is gonna tinkle.
There'll be,
We're doing it the last day.
And people weren't swimming.
yeah.
So that I can segue into the pool conversation. So right now we have 39 employees. And they currently are going through their lifeguard training sessions. And because swim lessons don't begin until next week, but the following week, it gives our staff additional time to train, which is fantastic. Usually we're scrambling. The open swim starts next week, the senior aerobic starts next week. All of that great stuff is still planned to open for next week.
Are they open this weekend?
They're open right now.
No, I know that, but are they open Saturday and Sunday? Because right now they're only open from 5 till 9. I didn't know about Saturday and Sunday.
I don't know the schedule off the top of my head, honestly.
I'm just
I'll
thinking
have
they
to
weren't.
double check with
Okay,
Chuck.
I just
We
didn't
can get the information and send it to y'all.
look it up on the thing too, so.
So yeah, you know, the pool is free for everyone to use. The first day of registration was a bit long waiting process because a lot of people kind of freaked out and thought that there wasn't going to be swimming lessons available, but and filled up. We did have from that day a 2.5-page waiting list, but Josh has made some tweaks and done some things to get crafty and added some extra swimming lessons, and everybody's going to be accommodated. So there will be nobody that won't have an opportunity to have a child, member, have swimming lessons. So he'll be handling that next week. Registrations Tuesday, Wednesday, and today, trickles, maybe 2, 3. It was just a community reaction to the free portion. Overall, I believe Josh said he purchased 4 passes, strictly just for like open swim. He purchased somewhere like in the 700 or 800 number amount, which currently I didn't connect with him today at the pool. I was there yesterday. That time yesterday when I met with him in the afternoon, there was upwards of close to like 450 or 500 that had been received. So given the number of registration cards that he purchased and then how many registered people that he has just for open swimming, he's going to be able to look at the numbers and identify approximately how many people to expect or anticipate to come to open swim time. So
Did you have to get passed just for open swim?
yes, we have everybody register. So if you go to open swim, you're going to register because you have to give us your contact information and emergency contact
But it's
information.
on my card, so I just give them my card?
Yes, so when you go to check in, you'll give them your card and then.
Do they have to do that for swimming lessons then too?
Correct.
Okay, so everybody, swimming lessons and open swim, that was your 400 or whatever it is?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood, okay.
Pool's up and running, and like I said, the staff are getting trained. And in terms of the Friday night fun nights, those are still planned. And recently, I stumbled across that there's a ice cream /truck/van that I believe the last time I saw a post on it, St. Peter's hired them, had them come to their event. So we're gonna reach out to that individual and see if they're interested in parking out at the pool area, so that way there's that as. Pretty sure it won't be free though.
For those of you that weren't there on Monday, or didn't go down to look on Monday, the line for check-in was almost outside of the pool proper. I mean, it was out, you know how when you go down, you drive in the parking lot? It was like almost to the beginning of that parking lot at one point.
Yeah.
I talked to someone who later in the day that sat in line for 2.5 hours. So, I mean, at by 5 o'clock, it was pretty much gone, I'm gonna tell you that. But it was really long.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was because there were kids, people brought their kids too, so.
Yeah, I went there just after 1, and I noticed on Hutchinson, every side of Hutchinson had cars on it for like 2.5 blocks. And then you had Rust, it was probably a block each, on both sides. And so people were very, very interested in signing up their kids, and like, I echo what she says, when the lines were crazy.
The one thing that I would ask, just from what I'm seeing in the last 2 or 3 days, and this is just a stupid thing, just letting you know, stupid. The kids that go down there to work are there before everybody else, and they're in the parking lot. So it might be better to have the workers park on Hutchinson Street and let the people that are coming for swim lessons parking in the parking lot. Because by the time, now I know that all the people are, the 39 or whatever are there in the morning, okay? But there seems to be like the parking lot is almost full just with the employees. So I'm just thinking that maybe if we can move them, I don't know how to, but move them up into the roadwise, that might open up the parking lot for the parents that are bringing the kids down. Just a thought, don't know if it would work, but.
It could, or we could just have them park on the grass area like we do with the DPW people.
Oh, on the north side, on the north side of the pool?
Both sides, we could do both sides depending on what that looks like. But yeah, I can talk to him.
I just thought it was a thought.
Well, getting excitement and use, that's all we can ask for.
So that's the latest on the pool. And then I have listed on here Hemlock Park update, as you all are aware, construction is underway. So we have been communicating well with Gerber. They are going to, well, they have been already down there, started the project. The electrical has been underway with Tradition equipment for the splash pad. Began arriving this week to the garage. Then next we will anticipate the equipment for the playground. That might have stayed today. There were some issues with customs in Canada, so maybe yesterday or today. And the fence that goes alongside the creek, we had to remove a portion of that fence because there were trees growing through it. It will be replaced. And then basically in terms of playscape, when it was demoed by city staff, we determined that the best location to put the bricks that we were able to salvage, concrete blocks I could basically say, we were able to get them over to the Bjornsson water tower along with the spindles that had names on them. And unbeknownst to us, after they were there for, I don't know, maybe a week.
Yeah, it's just over a week.
And then somebody went in there and decided they wanted every single one of them. One person, everybody, I don't know, we don't have surveillance cameras.
Maybe
It's a little peculiar.
they'll be part of a retaining wall somewhere in Big Rapids, who knows?
For a barbecue.
Probably not that far off.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's where we're at with the Hemlock Park project, and when we see you guys in August, because we don't meet in July, we will be meeting with the city commission at the same time for a joint meeting. It will be here, and I'll have a better indication as to how far along the project has to go. I can tell you that the playground will more than likely not be open by that time because of the lead time on equipment. We won't have every piece. So I'll be able to tell you when we're gonna have a ribbon cutting and for the splash pad and have a better update in terms of the construction schedule. And, the intent for the joint meeting is not only because we do that annually, it's also because the city commission would like to hear, a report from Josh Piles in regards to the decision to have the pool free and where were the successes and challenges. So they can have a better understanding as to what that decision impact had on the community.
He'll have a big, busy August, as that's right after the quill season, is when that meeting is. Short
That's a pretty
turnaround.
good indication.
Wonderful.
That's all I have for you.
Thank you. I'm just trying to think, there's really nothing else exciting about, I mean, there's lots of activity at Hemlock, but beyond the renovations. Is baseball, softball, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
out there
they're
again?
they're doing their thing. Yeah.
Okay. So
And in
that-
August, I hope by that time, we've already had the bids out for the depot park and we would have the bids out for the skate park. But those are being held up
Is
by grants.
Hemlock Park being used at all for softball?
That's what he just said,
Okay.
yes. He just asked that.
So that and Vogel and Industrial then? All three of them are back in action?
Okay,
Excellent.
I'm sorry, okay, the bids are being held up for what, hon?
they're tied up in the grants. They have to, whenever you have a grant, it has to get reviewed and approved before you can put it out on the street. So
Are the people
DNR,
that give you the grants?
yeah, so the DNR and Spark and all that.
And those are the only two, I'm sorry, other than Hemlock, those are the only two that we've got going then that are
In the queue.
in the queue. Thank you.
Do we have any plan to put ice in Hemlock Park again? This
Possibly.
winter?
We'll see. I mean, we didn't do it at the ball field because we put irrigation at the ball field last year. And we haven't had much of a winter in the last few years. And not last winter, but the winter before, when we did have the liner out there. I don't know where they got them, but people were getting cinder blocks and throwing them inside of the ice rink, and it damaged the ice rink liner. And ice was never really able to establish very well. And so it ripped the liner, and so there would have been an investment on the city's behalf, purchase a new liner and put it out at Hemlock Park. And we just didn't feel comfortable with that. So it was probably a good move to not put it out there, because I think we had like, what, 4 snow events?
Yes.
So we just didn't have a very good winter.
Any unscheduled business? Because we don't have any other staff reports, do we?
No, that's all I have for you.
So we know what we got coming up in August. I mentioned, I think we might be able to adjourn it at 7, I'm not sure, but
Sounds like it.
There you go. Beautiful day. Just enjoy the weather.
shall we? Let's do that. We'll adjourn it at 6:59. 6:59, there you go. You can turn
You
it off.
know, if I had been a little bit earlier, it would have been 6:58.
I know, man.